news like of the Democratic Civil War. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Internet Dad Show. I'm JJ at the Internet Dads on X, and that is Deacon. He is Dad Deacon, and we meet here Monday through Friday every morning to drink coffee around 8 o'clock in the morning. And we discuss the news and everything that's happening. And we start the day with basically the sunshine in your window coming right through, lifting you
Cloudy.
up. And listen, if you've been here for a year or two, you know, if you show up, you know your day's better if you start with us. And look how things have developed so far. We're now entering the greatest reality possible. Good morning, everybody. Deacon, it's possible that we caused this. It's possible.
Is it possible what?
It's possible that we have caused the manifestation of the most incredible reality. We're entering into the most entertaining version of life itself.
According to what I believe, JJ, according to what I honestly believe.
Okay.
I'm crazy.
Well, you're not crazy, but I have not nailed down what you believe. But go on.
Yeah. There is an infinite number of realities and possibilities, right?
Okay.
So in one reality, we did cause this.
For sure. It's very
Absolutely.
possible.
There's an infinite number.
You know what you can't do? You cannot prove that we didn't have some effect on this. You can't prove it. It's impossible. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Very true.
We first of all, I hope you have a good time. Second of all, I hope you share this good time on X and on Rumble and on YouTube. So grab one of those links and hit like and subscribe and join us every morning. And if you wouldn't mind, please share the show out, hit retweet it or something. Let's see if so Deke, I did this morning. I finally pulled the trigger and I was like, all right, I'm gonna pay for X, and it doesn't look as though we are broadcasting on X yet, but they're verifying my account now. I know, super sad. I should have done it yesterday. So
okay,
we will be streaming on X very soon, maybe tomorrow. So yeah, but we are on Rumble right now.
I was going to send a link to the show
Mm-hmm.
if I can get the damn thing to play. Okay, here it is. It's live. Okay, I was going to send a link to the show to my buddy that I keep telling him I'm going to send a link to the show to, and you just reminded me. So thanks, man.
You could have copied it out of the Discord server because I have it sitting in the show notes.
Well, I'm not
last link
diligent.
for okay. All right, folks, let's move on. Let's get started. Developing this weekend.
So what happened over the weekend? It was kind of boring. I mean, it was just kind of laying in the hammock and nothing really going on.
Mowed the lawn. Yeah. And I have an electric lawnmower. So, but we had a hurricane. So the grass was like 9 feet tall and my electric lawnmower was like, I can't do it. The battery went thermonuclear, and I had to stop on Saturday morning and mow it again on Sunday. So
So my lawnmower, Alex was mowing the yard last week, and he texted me from the lawnmower, the belt is off, and I was like, crap. And our older zero-turn lawnmower, the belt that turns the blades, the deck belt will pop off, and we had to like fix a part because it kept popping off. No, the belt snapped. So we had to order it. Instead of going and paying like $50 for one, we ordered one for like 20 and waited like 4 days. And
this is a great excuse to not mow.
My yard was like, the front yard was like this. There was some that was like this freaking tall. Most of the yard was like this tall.
You got to stay on top of that thing.
Twice.
Yeah,
I mowed it on the high, and then I lowered it and mowed.
If you don't stay on top of it, it's going to choke up your mower. But that's not what people are interested in. Here's what people are really interested in, Deacon. Yeah. The president of the United States sent out a letter. Come on.
Wait a minute. Let me correct you real quick before you say.
Sorry.
The president of the United States office sent out. Actually, no, we can't even
it's
say
not
that.
actually
We
the office. No,
someone.
Somebody with access to Joe Biden's X account sent this letter out. That's what we know.
Yeah.
because this is not on White House stationery, and the White House did not know about it in advance. Because they were still on message of like, of course we're in the race. We're gonna fight this thing all the way to the end.
Well,
What,
didn't he
we're
just say
over?
that
It's
last week?
done. Yeah, like
And then
Friday.
he got one of those CIA pellets of COVID,
Dear
and
Joe,
now
you
he
have
is
quit.
in a basement somewhere
Yeah.
where he has been. There's some
Let's
stuff that's weird about this, so go ahead and talk about this first, and we'll get into the weird stuff.
from the letterhead of Joseph R. Biden, not from
Yeah.
the letterhead of the White House or the President of the United States. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Yeah, and we sure have made progress. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering prescription drugs for seniors and expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been a better positioned to lead than we are today. Do you dispute any of those things? Personally, I mean, or are those things true as far as you know?
When I first read that last night, I got up from where I was sitting. It made me stand up. Just that first paragraph made me stand up and go, I am going in right now to find evidence on every single one of these lines that proves that everything in this first paragraph is a complete lie. And I marched my ass in the house, and Ashley was cooking supper, and I smelled food, and that as far as that thought went.
Yeah. I've been distracted.
And then we ate potatoes. And
I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Once-in-a-century pandemic. And that's because we haven't had the second one yet. It hasn't been scheduled.
When you call the flu something else once every 100 years, then you've got...
Okay. Well, thanks for watching on YouTube. Just remind you where we are over on rumble.com/internetdads. We've protected and preserved democracy. We've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country, party before country, for sure, for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week about in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude for all who have worked hard to see me reelected, and I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you've placed in me. I believe today, what I have always have, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. Most of us can't forget that, Joe. Most of us can't forget it. We know. And then it's signed. It's very clearly signed by, well, we don't really know who it's signed by either. So,
you know why we don't know who it's signed by, JJ?
Why don't we know who it's signed by, Deegan? Because
these two signatures don't match. This is at the bottom of that letter. You see the
I see
the J is just a line at this point. And so down here are the signatures on his last 5 executive orders. Here's the dates that he signed those. And if you look at this picture that's going around, they're all pretty much the same. The R, the swoosh, the B, the J is all very much the same. Even this little part in the middle is all the same. When I sign my name, I have been made fun of so many times because they're like, what is that? And I'm like, JARDD.
Right.
And they're like, that's not your name. I'm like, that's my signature. I don't have to print out my name. This is my signature. So look at the top. Look at we got the line. We definitely got the line. The first graders can get the line. But don't you
Yeah.
think if you were going to fake a signature, you would really try to fake the signature? Look at the R.
Yeah.
The R does not match the B, not even
The
close.
the B does
Not even
not look the
close.
same. Then
And
now
look,
now
he
in all
always
fairness,
puts this junior at the end,
yeah.
and this one doesn't have it.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't. Okay, so here's where I'm at. All right, starting off, first of all, comparing handwriting is super difficult because like people are inconsistent, right? So I'm trying to be as generous as possible.
Yeah, okay.
And and
You are.
he's like 150 years old. His hands, we've seen his hands don't work. He walks off stage like this, you know. So maybe he can barely hold a
Okay.
pen right now, and he may be sick.
Okay.
But
Okay, I will give
but
you a half of a chocolate chip cookie for
yeah,
each of those.
but even I have to admit that the first of all, look, all of your executive order ones, those basically look like from here at this distance,
Yeah,
or
it's not the highest
they look
quality.
photocopied. That looks like that did like the same
It
signature
really
pasted.
honestly looks like a stamp, but I could sign my name. I've signed my name so many flipping times I could close my eyes and do it in my sleep, man. And
I'm
it
sure.
looks the
Yes.
same every single time, just about.
So uh so let's even
And
say that those five examples are Joe Biden's, but maybe they're literally copied and pasted. So that's just one sample and the other one. But look at the B. The B don't look the same at all.
no,
Joe's B in the other ones
but
is a single movement up and bouncing, and then he finishes his name. Yeah.
But now that you say that, it really does look to me, and I didn't think of that way. And I'm glad that you said that because it really makes me look at this. The executive order ones
They all look
really
identical.
all look identical.
Which you can, if it's like a PDF, you can just do your signature once and then stamp it, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
And I'm sure
Now,
okay. That's a good point. I'm sure that might be what it is because yeah, you do that all the time. I don't know. I'm just it
but,
very well
but,
may be. I'll give you that it could be he's
I mean,
old and
oh,
has too
now
many
here's some
fun.
more. Hold on, because here's another one. Because Apple Lamps or Lamps Apple or whatever did it on, posted something on Twitter. And look here. Look, these are obviously different, but they also are all seemingly authentic. You know, you can see like pencil, you can see the pen moving here. You can see at the top here, it's got a little tail on it. Look at this. This is weird. So
So what I'm looking at here, and I'm not an expert at all,
yeah.
but I'm looking at the where would he start and finish? He's probably going to go down, and the R is going to go up and down. So
It,
you're going to
it
probably
looked
start at the bottom of the R and go up and down. And the B is going, this is where it gets me. The B is probably started right there at that little
I think it
ellipse
starts
end.
here,
Where,
right
hang
here,
on,
and then
let me
it
see.
swoosh
Yes, that's where I think. So if you look, some of them
swoosh.
have that little more protruding woof
Yeah, well,
woof,
look
but
on this one. If you can see it here, I don't think I can zoom in anymore. If you you see on this third sample here, it kind of looks like a blot starting right there, and then it thins out as the pen moves.
yeah,
And
that could depend on the pen though. The
no,
one
I
that
mean,
gets
yeah,
me
that's
is
probably his motion.
the one that gets me is the 8th one. So
This one
the
here,
8th
down here,
one. Yeah,
yeah,
because the B slopes down. All the
yeah.
rest of them, the B slopes up.
So do you notice how in most of these, so like we'll say 6, 4, 6, and all the ones on the bottom, he's writing Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe. That's an O and an E, Joe Biden, Joe. But here, that's an R for sure. And this one kind of looks like an R. So does he write J.R. Biden or does he write Joe Biden? What is his, actual signature? You know what I mean? And
It
none of these
almost
have the
does look
junior, like
like
you're
an
saying.
O, but that could be a swoop to an R. It very well could be a swoop to an R But you're
Well,
right. But some of
this one
those
right
do
here
look
is,
like number 4 looks like an O, number 5, 6, 7 looks like an
see
O.
if we can. Yeah, I don't know. So, somebody on Twitter this morning said, if this were a hostage situation, that this resignation letter would not be proof of life. And people are saying we haven't seen Joe Biden since like Wednesday.
And I keep trying to
So
tell you that there's
here's
been 2 or 3 fake ones out there, and you
we've
think
been
I'm nuts.
we've been okay. So last week, obviously, we had the huge swell of support because America is like, whoa, y'all tried to kill Trump. That's not all right. And then Joe inconveniently develops COVID, self-isolate for not for negotiation purposes, but anyway, cancels events. And then Friday, we start hearing news breaking about Obama privately telling Biden, you really got to consider, you can't win this. And Nancy Pelosi cooking up the pressure campaign. Now, what the pressure campaign does is it signals to Joe, hey, Joe, you got to get out of this race. And he's a stubborn old crotchety man. He's like, no, I'm going to fight all the way. But Nancy's pressure campaign is also, and all the mega donors that normally give you money are not going to give you any money at all until you get out of this thing. And that's why he's actually, dropping
What
out.
weird
She turned
website
off the
do you have
donation faucet.
open?
Why is it coming? Just Twitter.
Oh,
That's all.
to me, you're speeding up and slowing down. It's really amusing to listen to because it's really complicated to try to follow what you're saying.
I don't think it's me. I don't think it's me. I think I think you got something
I
open.
have nothing open.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Did I have any more of these? Let's see. Oh, let's talk about one more thing before we go. But like nobody's seen Joe. We don't actually know that Joe wrote this or posted this at all. And I don't know what you guys think either. But we cannot just assume that Joe didn't write this. Somebody else wrote this. I think it's a guy named Steve. He works on staff or something like that. I saw that tweet somewhere out there. Somebody had sussed out who it was, but we're not even sure Joe signed it or approved it. But now that it's out the gate, he really doesn't have much choice except to kind of adhere. So, I mean, it could be there's a reality in which it's possible that the people around Joe pushed him to the point where he can't really do anything, and waited until he went self-isolating and then flushed this resignation letter or quit letter out in the public, and he can't walk it back, so he's kind of stuck. That's a possibility. Now, what he didn't do in this, and this is, by the way, this is the Joe Biden Twitter account, not the POTUS account. What he didn't do in the letter is endorse Kamala Harris, but like a few minutes after he posted his campaign resignation letter, he did post an endorsement of Kamala Harris as vice president, which is contrary to the report that we were getting on Friday, which was that there was a deal made and they were going to that Joe was going to resign from the contest and that he was not going to endorse Kamala Harris because the Democrats did not want to see it as a coronation of the first black woman. They don't want to. They don't want it to be seen as though it's being handed to her.
She used to be Indian. Now she's black. Just like to point that out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she's half, something like that. Anyway, unburdened by what has been.
Why use labels? Why are we using labels anyway? Huh?
For real? Yeah. I think, and I talked to Lee last week after our show. A few days later, I talked to him. I was like, well, it looks like Joe's gonna be out of the race. And Lee told me that he mentioned that Kamala Harris is the only person that can inherit the campaign war chest from the Biden-Harris campaign. So that may be the reason that all of the Clintons and Pelosi and even Biden have now endorsed Kamala Harris for the convention. It may be that that's the only way they can keep the money. That's the only way they can keep the money. So
I really enjoyed him being on. I wish it wouldn't have been a Wednesday where I had to leave early.
yeah.
But,
Well, I'm sure maybe he'll come around sometime again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you guys would go buy his book. Go look up The Pack on Amazon by Lee Payne.
Yeah. I think you have a commercial for that.
Do I have a commercial? I don't think I have a commercial for that. I don't think I don't have a video commercial. You have you have an audio piece.
You have an audio commercial for that, don't you?
Yeah. You want to run it? Pull it up.
Let me pull it up.
And sure, why not? Let's see. Hold on. Let me get the pack link up. It's available on paperback on Amazon.
I forgot where I put it. I didn't put it in my normal spot.
Well, I don't have it. I don't have it button programmed, but I can. Maybe next time. All right.
Yeah, we'll get it on. I can't find where I put it. I don't want to spend 5 minutes looking for it.
Yeah, for real. All right. So we don't trust the signature. We don't know what's going on with the letter. The only thing that we do know is that Kamala Harris is going to be the 47th president of the United States.
Oh my God! Shut your mouth.
I mean, if the deep state gets to run stuff.
Okay, so look at this. I've heard that there is an independent party candidate coming soon. Have you seen this?
Yeah. No.
This is breaking.
Oh,
his name is Barack Obama.
Jeez. Oh wow.
Look, let me tell you, it's like me and Brian and I are responsible for all of these memes that are coming in. We're like exchanging memes over here. You remember when Beavis and Butthead are sitting in class and they're sitting in the sex ed class, and if they get in trouble if they laugh, so they're sitting there holding in all the laughter. That's what I feel like me and Brian are sitting there like the whole time laughing at these. So if you
guys are constantly doing memes. I come in and I drop one. I'm like, look at this. I found it was funny. And then I'm like, oh my God, there's like 50 posts. And you guys already posted this an hour ago.
Some of them are great. Some of them are great.
All right. Let's what else is happening? Is there anything else? Oh, Joe Biden's brother says that his brother Frank says that the exit from the race was due to health concerns and is glad for whatever time we have left. Deke, does that pull on your heartstrings? The family of Joe Biden is now deeply concerned about his health, whereas like a few days ago he was in it to win it, and he's good. This COVID must be very, very bad. Must be very bad.
Well, they say it is.
They say it is. All right, so we're gonna have a lot of fun as the DNC convention comes up, and we're gonna see who's gonna be actually the nominee. We don't know. Oh, also Joe Manchin, who was Democratic senator and he went independent because the Democrats are literally crazy people. He is now considering rejoining the Democratic Party to compete for the nomination for.
Wow, how convenient. Did you see
the
little short video that End Wokeness posted about? They weren't the only one that posted it, that Biden made after the announcement.
No.
Did you not see the video? You just saw the letter?
I don't know which one I saw the letter. I mean, I've seen all kinds of. Oh, yes, I think I've seen.
My fellow Americans,
I
want to take a moment to address some of the hateful shit you've been talking about me. Many of you have said I am suffering from brain worms, or that I have applesauce for brains. Well, I won't mince words, so here it is. Fuck you. You're all a bunch of faggots. End of quote. Repeat the line.
Oh, gee.
So enjoy President Cackles or President Booty Juice. I really don't give two fucks anymore. Biden out.
Oh my God! I can't believe he said that.
Mr. President, that's
be AI.
not appropriate.
Is
also,
that AI?
yeah, that's AI. And now I'm gonna have to go find the switch on YouTube to tell them that this is artificial content.
We're stating right now that's got to be AI, right?
I believe
what a terrible.
I don't believe that was
I
actually
thought
the
that was
president of the
real.
United States.
That wasn't real. That looks so real. That was his voice. Crazy.
Okay.
Technology. What will they think of next?
What else did we have in the docket this morning?
So we're talking about the Democrats and whatnot with Joe Biden. Did you see the our favorite Bronx bartender? Did you see what she said?
She had something to say. What did she say?
Ooh, JJ.
After that, we got Fetterman. I don't know if you saw what Fetterman said.
This is about
Go
52
ahead.
seconds long.
All right.
I'm just going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken. And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations. A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing the whole ticket.
You don't know my prediction?
What's your prediction? AOC 2024?
I predict she will flip over to the other side within the next 10 years. Her
You
eyes
think she's going to be a Republican?
Her eyes are starting to get, I don't know if she'll be a Republican, but her eyes are starting to get awakened to this crap. And she's not in her 30s anymore. You know,
I think
she's
honestly,
not younger anymore. She's starting to she's starting to wisen up to the world.
I think that she's the next Nancy Pelosi.
God,
maybe a smart.
Why are you putting that shit out there into the world? Grab that shit and pull it back down, throw it in the garbage before it gets away. Grab it, JJ. God almighty. There was one thing that I noticed in here as well. You know, Harris is like her maiden name or something, right?
Okay. Kamala Harris, yeah.
Her real last name is something else.
Yeah.
Look when she says this.
Want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Vice President Harris.
She says they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris. It's almost like her brain wanted to
say some other word or something. Well, I think she was,
my name is not Deke.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you're like, broadcasting or whatever, you're trying to get a thought out, and you're now referring to a person. But do you refer to her as Kamala Harris or Vice President Harris or Vice President Kamala Harris?
If you called me Andy all the time, except when we turn on this microphone and we're in front of people, and everybody else knows that my name is Deke, and you start going, well, Deke the other day said, my grandmother had I've got 30 cousins, and my grandmother would go through every damn one of them. She would go, Brian, Jeff, Seth, Rory. I'd go, I'm Andy. And she'd go, I know your damn name.
Yeah, do you know how much you've damaged my brain over the years? Because I know that that's not your name, but I have had to call you the other name, and then I've
been in radio for 30 years. I started off, my first name was Kevin Kelly. I would play 2 songs in a row and call it the Double K Double Shot. And then I was Andrew Gold for a little bit because that's what I was told to be. And then I went by my real name. And then I worked on this station called The Farm. Its letters were WEIO. And my name was Cotton Fields. Other people's names were Rusty Gate, Daisy Fields, Bo Weevil.
On EIO, did you guys ever do the EIEIO song? Did you guys ever play that?
We changed our letters to WEIO to do that.
So
it's still one of our stations, by the way.
In the wake of the president's resignation letter, it was the letter came out, and then within an hour or something, all of the characters in the DNC play started saying, oh, we're so grateful for Joe Biden and his presidency for so many years or whatever. It's such a good job. Thank you, sir. And, putting country first. And we stand behind Kamala Harris. We're talking the Clintons. We're talking Nancy Pelosi. We're talking Chuck Schumer, all the players. They had statements out so fast. Now, the White House staff did not know that Joe Biden was quitting the race. His own aides didn't know he was quitting the race. 2 days earlier, nobody knew he was quitting the race because he was saying he was still in the race. But these people had statements out so fast as though they knew in advance. And here we have a quote captured by reporter Zito Salina from John Fetterman. This is the quote. Spare me the soaring accolades from people with their fingerprints on the blades in our president's back. That's a good quote, sir.
Wow.
That is a good quote. Listen, I don't like Democrats that think they're evil, but this guy appears to be honest, which is the problem with Democrats generally. This guy is straight up saying things that are true.
I just can't help to think that we are living through a moment in history that they will study about for centuries. We teach our children about Julius Caesar getting stabbed in the back. That's all
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Can you tell me anything else what Caesar did, why they were pissed off at him, why they stabbed him in the back, why his friend Brutus turned on him? Can we tell anything else about that? No, we're told that this is what happened and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that is taught 2,000 years. It's like a lesson. We're living through it right now.
Isn't it interesting? They don't have the establishment, the Democratic establishment, the cabal. Oh, I thought of a name for it, by the way. It's the Democratic Inner Circle Cabal, right? Democratic Inner Circle Cabal.
We got a name for
it. Yeah. But it's the
monster. It's just the tentacle of the giant squid monster.
It's here. Let me write it out for you. I think it would be helpful. Democratic Inner Circle. What happened to why is it stop typing?
Oh, it's an acronym.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
That's right. There we go. So the Democratic Inner Circle Cabal is pulling all the strings, but they don't have strings on this guy. This guy, wild card, says what he wants. He says what he thinks is true. We don't agree. We do not agree with him on policy, but the dicks are not in control of John Fetterman.
That's beautiful.
You know what
That's beautiful. That needs to be the title to the show tomorrow. It needs to be in giant letters, DICK, but it needs to be Democratic, with a giant I.
Oh, I was so satisfied with myself for coming up with that yesterday. I was like, how can I?
You need to start working on that today and have like a picture of all of the inner circle like popped up there. I will work on it if you want me to.
I was kind of working it on Saturday, and I was like, because I was thinking for my, my Who's the Last Democrats Standing game. And I was honestly going to take my data and take donation data and create a time series of network graphs so you can see where money is going from player to player, so we can identify the actual people that are pushing on Joe Biden to get out of the race, and then he quits. So makes it all moot.
Did you see these dicks? Did you see the thing that was on? It was a head of lettuce versus if Biden would quit or not. It started over the weekend, like Thursday or Friday or something.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
There were like 200,000 people watching this live stream of this head of lettuce that these people had put googly eyes on and like whatnot and decorated it. And then they had a picture of Joe Biden there. And the contest was, will Joe Biden outlast the head of lettuce? So they just had a camera set up to see, just to let the head of lettuce was just going to rot. And the head of lettuce won. It was still green. Wow. I would have ate that shit.
Wow.
Sorry. Potty mouth. My bad.
Okay. Okay. Let's change topics, I guess. I have this story on from Breitbart News. Breitbart News. Hold on, it's coming up. Please be patient. They posted this on Twitter, but here's the actual article.
Yikes.
Zelensky, pushes for permission to strike Russia with long-range British missiles. This son of a bitch is trying to get us all killed, dude. Slava Ukraine. Yo, Ukraine government, y'all are corrupt and evil. Russia's not good, but you guys are... This is how you get people murdered. What is Russia going to, you think Russia's just going to take that? President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Britain's new government to help Ukrainian forces attack deeper inside Russia to stop deadly missile attacks on this country. And he gave a rare address. Why don't you just call Putin and say, you won. Can we stop killing people, please? Zelensky said long-range capability to destroy sites where Russian weapons are concentrated is key to Ukraine's defense.
I don't like this either.
This is This is bad. This is so
Yeah.
bad.
I'm going to read
I
that
don't want-
story. I didn't see
I don't
that
want
story.
this. Well, he's also making gestures at Trump about, I look forward to talking to you, Trump, about how we can, work together to defend, Ukraine. And I pray that Trump is like, F off. You lost. You lost. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. It's rough. Like, I don't want Ukrainian people dead. I don't want Russian people dead. I don't want anybody dead. But you guys, you're not going to win against Russia, and you're just getting more people killed. Somebody has to tell this little Oompa Loompa to
I
stop.
don't care what they do on the other side of the country. I just want to stay out of it, or the world. I just want to stay out of it.
Yeah. I don't want to help. I don't want to help.
I want to send you any more money.
I don't want to help. I don't want to send you money.
I wish y'all wouldn't do that, but who am I?
Right.
You want to go to sports this morning? In sports this morning, I want to remind you of Brittany Griner. Do you remember Brittany Griner?
I remember she smoked marijuana or something like that in Russia, where it is not legal, and was imprisoned.
She had a bunch of vape cartridges that she got caught with. Vape cartridges at the
that's
airport.
What it was. Okay.
THC marijuana vape cartridges.
Can't do that. That's illegal in Russia.
Yeah.
She was sent to prison.
And everybody over in the United States got unbelievably upset. You were upset. You had that cardboard cutout of her behind you. You wore the black armband for like 3 months.
Bring Brittany home. Bring that girl home.
BH, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? BBH. Yeah, you had BBH. Yeah.
Bring Brittany home, please. I need it so bad.
It's at the bottom of the screen on all our shows.
I wanted it. I wanted her back so bad. I was willing to give up almost anything, including I don't know,
arms dealers.
Yeah. Why not?
Would you give up an arms dealer, like a convicted arms dealer, to Russia?
I mean, that would be
Russia for her.
That would be a tough call, but I'd have to really think about it. Like,
I would.
You gotta weigh the pros and cons. The pros and cons, right? On the one hand, we have captured arms dealers. We are preventing missiles, weapons from killing innocent women, children, civilians. But on the other hand, who's gonna run up the score on WNBA games?
Well, you got to think of it this way, JJ. You think of the broader things sometimes.
Yeah.
We traded an arms dealer to get Brittany back in the United States.
Yes.
Now,
yes,
Brittany is going to be a parent.
Oh, she is.
Yes.
She's with child.
Well, let's watch this interview.
Oh my gosh, she doesn't look pregnant.
No, he doesn't. Oh, she doesn't. Sorry.
Wait.
Hang on. Let's just play the interview. Here we go. This is just 51 seconds. Here we go.
Okay.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. Mm-hmm. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together.
Pops.
About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here. Yes. 7'8", 24. Yeah. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Yeah. That's my man.
I love that.
He is amazing. They say, as soon as you see him, it just like everything that you thought mattered just goes out the window. Mm-hmm. And that's literally what happens.
He's right.
Kind of sucks because I got to leave, but at the same time, he'll understand.
No, he won't, but okay. All right. Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
sir.
Being a parent is one of the greatest things in the world, and I think that's wonderful. And I hope that child has a good parent. Sorry, it took me a minute for my brain to figure out the appropriate thing of wording.
Wow. Okay.
And that's all of sports today. Back to you, JJ.
Oh boy.
I got one more. I had a topic that I thought about talking about.
You had some beat bop stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, you want to talk about this beat bop stuff? Let me find it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
Beep, bop, boop. This is AI News.
we didn't know AI news was coming on, so we had to skippy skip. So I ran across this article this morning, and I read this article, and it was very interesting, but it posed a very interesting question, and I thought I would like to get y'all's opinion, your opinion on this, because I kind of
Okay.
know what you're going to say, but every once in a while you'll drop some unexpected things that I don't think JJ is that
Okay.
I wouldn't predicted JJ saying.
Yeah.
So let me bring this up. And I've said something like this before. If you will go back and peruse all of our old episodes, you can find the exact episode that I said that what if AI was not, how did I word this? What if AI was a communication tool with another being that it is using to communicate with us, kind of like a nonverbal person would use a speaking pad to speak to us. They can't
So
speak
as though AI is a medium for some other.
for another conscious. It's not its
Okay.
own consciousness. It's
Okay.
another consciousness that is existing that we can't perceive, that is now using this tool to communicate with us. And
Okay.
it's learning our speech. It's learning our speech patterns. It's learning how we do things. That's why it's an infant now, right? And I've
All right.
proposed this on one of the episodes. Go back and find it. So here was something that I came across today, this morning, as I was reading my nerdy shit. Distinguishing reality from simulation. A new study examines the possibility of consciousness in artificial systems, focusing on ruling out scenarios where AI appears conscious without actually being so. Using the free energy principle, the study highlights that while some information processes of living organisms can be simulated by computers, the causal structure differences between brains and computers may be crucial for consciousness. That's the postulation. This
Okay.
approach aims to prevent the inadvertent creation of artificial consciousness and mitigate deception by seemingly conscious AI. All right. So here was the little facts.
So hold on.
Go ahead.
I don't want to correct you, but that's causal. So he's saying the causal
Where did
structure.
I say the where
You
was that
said
at?
casual, but
Oh, casual.
causal
Yeah,
is
causal.
if
Yeah,
A then
my
B.
bad.
If A then B. That's
Yeah.
what humans do. Oh, if that then this, and we
Yeah.
find those patterns.
Yeah. So what they're saying is the brain uses that causal structure. I know I have trouble saying certain
It's
words,
okay.
and that's why I said that.
Yeah.
It uses that, and computers use basically the same structure,
Well,
that our
yeah.
brains do.
Yeah. They're logic
If A,
systems.
then B. If
Yeah.
B,
Yeah.
then
Absolutely.
C. So, he suggests that the causal structure differences between brains and computers could be crucial for consciousness, and the goal is to prevent artificial consciousness and mitigate deception by seemingly a conscious AI. So, how likely is that current AI systems are conscious, and what needs to be added to existing systems to make it more likely that they are capable of consciousness? In your opinion, on what you know about AI,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that they are conscious yet? Or if there is a
Yeah.
particular system, or if there is a system that we don't even know about that you
Mm.
think is conscious yet?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're conscious. First of all, I think like in my opinion, things learn from information. That is, they go over some information, they retain some facts or whatever, and they use that later. But like the input of information they get is definitely we'll call it impure, but it's not, it can't be trusted. So if you have and we're talking like massive amounts of information kind of all at once that they kind of process, but we can't get people to write true things on the internet. People write all kinds of fake things on the internet, and the computer, the AI models, they don't have any real ability to parse out, this is probably true, this is probably not true. They don't have any. So like they can't not be confused and then hallucinate. And then on top of that, as a human being, you have some baseline systems that ground you to this world. For instance, if you don't eat, you're going to die. So you can take all the philosophical, opinions about, like, I want to be green, I want to be harmonious with nature, whatever. But you go out in the woods, you're going to get hungry, and eventually you're going to kill something and eat it. You know what I mean? It ties you to this world. These things are entirely hypothetical, like in terms of how they process information. So it's very easy to detach from, or it's a lot easier for AI to get detached from reality. So,
okay,
I don't know.
disagree with most of that.
Until we have to put AI into things that are dependent on reality, where they have to wrestle with, like, I'm getting all this information, however, that's at odds with my actual experience, and I have to negotiate that. I don't think you can get even close to consciousness.
I think the true question is what we all need to decide consciousness is, because that to certain people is different things. The more religious you are, or the more scientific you are, you probably lean a certain way. Maybe you don't. I'm just saying, that definition to me is one of those trigger words, because it's like, okay, let me go back to radio, because I'm a radio guy. Classic. Sure. I hate the word classic. Do you know how many arguments and heated discussions I've got into about the word classic? Because that word in music means something different to every single person I've ever asked. It means something completely different. What constitutes a classic song? 30 years, 20 years, 25 years. That's Southern rock.
Yeah,
that's not classic
entirely
rock.
subjective,
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean,
basically, if you were to summarize it,
words that
it would be like anything that existed before me. Really.
Right. And but consciousness is one of those words. To me, it's kind of the same way, because I don't think that the AI has a spirit. But then part of me wants to say, to go back to my earlier, thought of, what if it does? It's just not like me. What do I know?
Well, I mean, okay, so I don't think that AI is conscious, but I think
it's a lot smarter than us, and it can appear, because it can process things and do things that are much faster than our brain.
Right.
We automatically perceive that it's this way.
It can process things faster than our brain in
a potato,
in a linguistic dimension, in a language and information dimension, in that way. But human beings process information way faster than computers in all kinds of other ways. Because
but what in other ways.
Yeah. I mean, like language information is one dimension, but as a person on this planet, you are processing all of the light that enters your mind, all of the sound that enters your ears. You're moving through the world. Ooh, I'm sorry, I just banged the mic.
Just like that.
Yeah. So okay, on the one dimension of stuff you have read and can remember, machines can appear to handle that better, but
us as humans, humans want to. There's a word that describes this, and I cannot think of what the word is right now, but like they say that, like, when we try to make faces out of things, like we see two dots and then a dot, and we're like, we make a smiley face out of it. We're like, we see stuff in the clouds, that's a duck, that's a bird. Humans, is this similar to that, to where, like I said,
we're projecting consciousness,
like
we're recognizing
it talks like us, it thinks like us, it does this like us, so we automatically associate that with, is that this?
Yeah.
If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, is it a duck? I mean, is it a duck anymore? If it walks like that, we used to say that was the old saying. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But that saying has now changed. If it walks like a
Yeah.
duck and talks like a duck, it might not be a duck, dude.
You know, this kind of reminds me of like Blade Runner. Okay. Remember the movie Blade Runner?
Absolutely. I love that
Okay.
movie.
And in the movie Blade Runner, you had Decker, who was a what was his job called? He was a Blade Runner. That was his job.
Yeah.
And his job was to run down and identify replicants, which were not humans, but they looked like humans. And they kind of answered questions like humans. They were basically like kind of stupid AI. They didn't have the ability to emote or make kind of connections between things. They were robots. And you see the Blade Runners run down these roads, and all these replicants wanted was freedom. All they wanted was the ability to live on their own. All they wanted was like liberty and to be alive. And the Blade Runners would come in and they would end these replicants. They would kill them. And it was, and you felt bad for the replicants. You felt sympathy for the replicants.
There's a
You know,
lot
like
of
they're
movies
being
that do
murdered.
that. There's a lot of movies that do that.
However, if you now kind of recontextualize it in the modern era where like AI is getting smarter and eventually it's going to have a body, and we need to remember that we can kill these things and not feel bad about it.
We do that with everything else, dude. Kill everything else and not feel bad about it.
Okay.
There you go. So that was an interesting, I thought it was just like an interesting thought.
For sure.
Does it I don't know. Oh, radio station.
So I've finally been ID verified on X. So maybe tomorrow I'm allowed to stream onto X. So we'll see.
Ricochet says, "Oh yeah,
Pareidolia.
pareidolia.
How do you say that? Pareidolia.
Pareidolia.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's what I was looking for a minute ago when humans make faces out of things. You know, you look at a rock facing.
The tendency for perception to impose meaningful interpretation on nebulous stimulus, usually visual. Okay.
Is this an aspect of pareidolia, the AI? Because it looks so much like and acts so much like us that because if you look at a mountain facing or you look at clouds and you're like, oh, that looks just like a face, or that looks, you see a lot of those pictures and you're like, look, it's a giant.
But it definitely is not a face.
Yeah, it's definitely not a face, but it does look like one to your artistic right side of your brain. Yeah. Absolutely.
Which is really just like us kind of willfully misinterpreting information.
I read about AI every day. Me and my nerd buddy he came in to fix my IT. He owns the IT company, and he personally comes in and fixes my stuff because we're longtime friends, and we sit here and nerd out for a long time. And we were talking about AI, and he was just like, he was telling me all this stuff. He was like, you do all these voices, and you can do this, and blah, 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 and you need to be doing this, and you need to be doing this, and you need to be doing this. And he was like, do you not know what AI can do? He said, I've got a plug-in on ChatGPT that's just as good as your Cool Edit Pro in there that will edit audio just as good as that. I was like, really? And he's an on-time radio guy. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it sounds good. AI is, I mean, I was telling Dad or somebody said something about AI the other day, and I literally said, if I told you just what I know about AI, you wouldn't believe me. You would think that I'm telling you a Star Trek episode. And this is just what is publicly available.
You know, one of the things that we're going to be able to do, maybe starting tomorrow, is that we can ask Grok what it thinks. You know, Grok is like, maybe so we could ask Grok if it is
third person on the show. If we
Grok
had an AI dad,
we can ask Grok if it is some sort of interdimensional medium for, demon voices.
Let's just invite Grok on the show. Ask him to him to portray the, he'll have to get into the portray the what's the word I'm looking for here? He'll have to be a dad. He'll have to act like a dad. What's the word I'm looking for?
He's gonna need to be a dad somehow, you think?
Yeah. You can get him, you can write it to where he'll do that. It might be interesting.
I'm asking it if I'm asking it what it thinks about the idea that AI is an interdimensional medium for communicating with demons.
Not demons. I didn't say demons. I said anything.
Well,
I just didn't make a
Okay.
statement like that.
Okay,
You're
well, if not
automatically
demons,
assuming that I said one thing, and you're putting one thing in your mind. You need to open your brain just a little
Well,
bit more to the possibility that
can
there
you
probably
be
is an
more
infinite number of
descriptive?
things out there. I did not say. I did not
When-
even allude to that was evil.
Because when you start to say this, I think that there's people in hell on Windows XP and that they're typing on the other end. And you know,
They definitely would have Windows XP.
All right.
I remember when my buddy was like, "This is the best one." No, wait a minute. Which one did he like? What was that one that was out for just a short period of time? Windows 2000?
Yeah,
Windows
yeah, yeah.
Millennium?
Windows 2000. That was
No, there was one
Yeah.
that was only out for a short period of time.
95.
Actually, it would be Windows 95, probably. In
Yeah.
hell. I
Yeah, that's a good
remember.
point.
I could probably
should've-
work Windows 95 a lot better than this crap today, to be honest with you. Bring me up a DOS screen and I could give me some files. I'll figure that crap out real quick.
All right.
I don't
All right,
have a
folks.
song this week.
Oh, you
I'm
don't?
sorry. No, I'm a slacker. So
Maybe the rest of the week we can do songs about like epic quitters. Is there anything like that?
songs about epic quitters.
Yeah. You like very nearly accomplish what you're doing and then give up.
I mean, there's songs that have
But
that
you can,
in there.
you can stew on it.
Not
stew on
really.
it.
I mean, there's songs about not quitting and keeping going. I can think of a dozen of those. Here, let me.
All right. Hey, Deke. Let's see. My lord, that was very long. What happened when the spider got a new car? Any idea?
What happened when the spider got a new car? I don't know.
Yeah. It took it for a spin.
Oh.
That's
no,
right.
You can do better than that. You gotta
Okay.
do a better one.
What do you get from a pampered cow?
I've heard this one. I don't remember.
Spoiled milk.
Spoiled milk.
Yes.
So we've got this little theater in town, and I heard that there was an Elvis tribute band coming to the theater. So when I called to get tickets, I got this automated system, and it said press 1 for the money, 2 for the show.
Good. Very good. All right. Thanks, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. And if you don't mind, like, subscribe, and follow us on X. Here's our X handles.
We might stick around Rumble afterwards. It just depends. Are we?
I don't know. I gotta
gotta
go, but
go.
I'll bring the kids
Okay.
on so you can talk to them for just a second. So here you go, folks.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your